The program is live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana and also on DSTV channel 277. Let's begin from the House of Parliament because the Majority Caucus in the House has requested an urgent reconvening of the House. A letter by the Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin cited Article 112 Clause 3 and Order 53 of the Standing Orders of Parliament, which allows 15% of the members of the House to request the recall of Parliament. The Majority Caucus is seeking to address key government business items, including the adoption of the 34th report of the Appointments Committee and a motion on additional financing. Let's now cross over to Parliament, where the Majority is addressing the press.
The House was adjourned sine die. There were 3 items of urgent importance to government that had been advertised to be taken. They were advertised on the order paper of the day. And these were the items. 1, the adoption of the 34th report of the Appointment Committee on His Excellency the President's nomination for appointment as ministers, regional ministers, and deputy ministers. 2, motion on additional financing agreement between Government of Ghana and the IDA for an amount of $150 million to finance the ongoing Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project, also known as the GARID. 3, request for tax exemption for selected beneficiaries under the 1D1F program. On the first item, you all know that Mr. President did some reshuffle and came out with some nominations. As you are well aware, the appointment committee sat on all of the nominees, interviewed them, engaged them, asked the relevant questions, and the report, as was tabled on the floor, was by consensus. So all we left to do is to take it through the motion of voting. On the issue of the GARID, that is the IDA 150 million, the committee had done its work. In fact, we had taken the motion, and the Works and Housing Subcommittee, Committee of Parliament had expressed certain views, and Mr. Speaker advised that the matter be taken back to committee and the leadership of the Works and Housing Committee be asked to join to express their views so that such views get incorporated. In fact, this was done, and all that is left is for this item to be taken so that government can access this concessional facility to show up our forex. We all know the situation with our city, and these are things that if we are unable to.
We'll bring you more subsequently in our bulletins. Now, today is World Press Freedom Day, and as Ghana joins the rest of the world to commemorate the day, we'll be taking a look at the country's media landscape over the past decade. And let's get onto the phone lines and speak to the Acting Executive Secretary of Private Newspapers and Online News Publishers Association, George Wilson Kingston, joins us this afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the bulletin. First of all, a happy one to all of us media men. But what really are the biggest challenges facing press freedom in Ghana, and how can they be addressed?
Thank you very much. As we mark the World Press Freedom Day today, we have observed that the operating environment for the media is still not as friendly as we wish or want it to be. There are still hostile situations that is making journalists not operating in their comfort zones. And you agree with me that it is this is a terrible situation at this time that a lot of countries are happy and excited about world press freedom, about the level of professionalism, the environment at which they operate, how peaceful and how sweet it is for them to operate. However, when it comes to Ghana here, we still have situations where when a journalist writes a story, publishes a story, and someone thinks that it is not in their favor, they come up with threats, among others. We think that this hostile environment that is still existing, despite numerous lip services that authorities are paid, we think that it's a worrying situation and that it is time that something drastic is done to change the situation as it is.
Now, according to a report, it says that Ghana has seen a positive jump in the latest World Press Freedom Index, climbing 12 places to 50th globally. But also there are concerns about, accountability when it comes to attacks on pressmen. Now, how can government, stakeholders in the media space, and civil society organizations work together to create a more enabling environment for journalists to operate freely?
We journalists want to be brought to the table. We want to sit down with government and stakeholders and have a discussion. No, we don't want a situation where authorities or the powers that be sit somewhere, have their discussion, and then come to us to impose their decisions on us. We want to be brought together to the table. We believe that when we sit down with all stakeholders, sit down to dialogue, there will be positive outcome that can be implemented more effectively.
Okay, great. And finally, from your quarters as Newspaper Association, what initiatives or programs have you put in place or implemented to protect journalists' rights and to combat misinformation and disinformation in the media landscape?
We have made it a responsibility. As an association, we have committees that are in place that are putting a check on our colleagues. And so when we keep advising our members to be up and doing, but however, should any of them go according to against the ethics that we have laid down, we have committees that are in place that call them to order, and where they need to be reprimanded, they are able to do so. This is just one of the things that we are doing currently to ensure that we have responsible journalism in this country.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.